Welcome to episode 14 of JuicedCast, a podcast for resellers by resellers. Today I'm joined by my co-host Saucy Mango. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How's it going, DTX?
It's going good. This week is going to be sort of eventful with the Yeezys, the Dunks, the Jordan 4s, and the Union 4 drop this Sunday. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited. The unions are going to be a crazy one. I think it's going to be like last time where
Bots
bots are
feel
not. Yeah, no bots, man. Strictly just scripts and manual, man.
manual. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way to go. But I want to start off today just to, for some of our listeners who aren't familiar with cook groups or like how to navigate through Discord servers, maybe we can give you a little insight into how you can maximize the most out of your subscriptions that you're paying for, whether maybe with Juiced or any other cook group out there. We want to make sure that you guys know what you're doing and are prepared. So GTX, did you want to start off with maybe giving our listeners a little insight into some tips that you recommend to make sure that you're best prepared to take all the knowledge that cook groups have to offer and maximize all the services that they provide?
Yeah, don't hesitate to contact support staff. It's the biggest thing I could say. That's what they're there for, is to help you and guide you throughout, whatever you're trying to get through. And I think perfect example of that is, if you look in Juiced and what they have, they give you access to ask all these knowledgeable people that have been in the industry for quite a while and, ask them questions. So yeah, just utilizing support staff is probably the biggest thing I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's true. I think also, when you're first entering a Discord server, it's very overwhelming because you have a lot of channels, a lot of information, and you don't really know where to start. But what you'll find in most Discord servers is they have like a welcome page or like sort of like rules. You sort of get a guide of like how the server is laid out, right? And I think also the first thing I would even just start off with from the get-go is obviously reading through that, but then also just assigning notifications. I think that goes a long way because then you get pings for specific information you're looking for, whether it may be like foot site restocks, bot restocks, or anything that, uh, I guess like sparks your interest. That's really the way to go. And then obviously taking advantage of support. And the more and more, you spend in the server, create more tickets, get to know, the staff, get to know the people around you, and there's a lot of valuable information that people around you can share, right? I think that's really the best way to teach yourself and also grow within this community, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's, the most important thing, kind of like go aside from what you just said, but I think the most important thing is for people to understand that, we all start from somewhere
Hmm.
and, just not being afraid to ask anyone. I know your DMs are always open, my DMs are always open. We're here to help people. Everyone
Absolutely.
starts from, somewhere. So as long as you put in the time, you have the will, and you're not afraid to ask questions, you're bound to be successful.
So DTX, what was your experience when you were first like, you started obviously with we met through a cook group when we first started talking. What was your experience being part of that cook group or just, overall entering this scene?
Yeah, so number one, finding the right cook group, because the cook group that we met in was a complete scam, right? um
It was
so
bad. Yeah,
yeah, it's
it was
really
really
bad.
bad.
So just finding the right group, I think, is the most important thing. um but yeah, just not being afraid to ask for help, like I said earlier. And then one thing, at least for me, was whenever I started, I had limited capital, so knowing how to manage your capital properly, and not messing that up, not spending money on things you don't need to spend it on, stuff like that. Just work hard for a little bit, and then you can always splurge later. So yeah, just say, put your head down and keep grinding, because it's going to pay off eventually.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. In terms of some of the, you know, services that are available in cook groups, like we always stress sort of the importance of monitors. Do you want to sort of explain how those monitors work and, how we can use them to our advantage and how that separates someone who may not be in a cook group, right? Like some people who are not
Yeah.
in cook groups don't have access to these things, and explain to our listeners how they really make a difference in terms of your reselling and just ability to get goods?
Yeah. So first of all, um kind of to go on monitors. Basically what a monitor does is it monitors sites that drop typed items, and then it pings you or it um, puts it in a Discord channel whenever they drop. If you're in Juiced, I guarantee you've seen them. They're extremely helpful. So basically, what sets you apart from people that don't have that is obviously you're gonna have first dibs at any drop that happens, and you can start running your bots and whatever it may be. But yeah, so you're able to see, what items are dropping on what sites, and if you're on like, certain sites that are really good to go manual on, you can possibly make a lot of money just off of sitting on like a Shopify filtered monitor or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And they're really good for restocks too, like especially for drops like Supreme, which don't drop everything all at once, right? You start to see when product gets put back on the page, and then even for like foot sites, right? Sometimes foot sites, what we're learning now is when you start your tasks with whatever bot you're using, you got to make sure when the queue is up and stuff like that, and when the first purchase is going through, that helps you monitor when the right time is to start your tasks, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so, obviously in these groups, we have so many different things available to us, whether it may be information for releases, information for investments, information for just, anything that you're looking for. What would you say is like the most important thing to pay attention to in a Discord server?
I'd say the most important thing to pay attention to is what the admin, owner, staff are telling you to do, or what drops they're telling you to go for. They obviously know from based off their expertise. Just listen to them, follow their guidance, and then you're guaranteed to make profit.
Yeah. And I think also what we also fail to recognize is how beneficial like giveaways and like partnerships, stuff like that, like group buys, stuff like that, that really help us get things for retail, get things for free, that most members, like non-members, don't have access to, right? So that's sort of like what I'd want, and we recommend you guys take advantage of when you're sitting in these cook groups, because thing is you're paying for these subscriptions, and if you're just sitting there and not really taking advantage of what's available to you, that's just sort of an expense that's going down the drain for you, and you could make a lot of money out of that, right? We've had a good amount of drops recently. Actually, let's start off with that TTX. Why don't you start us off, and then I'll give you a little about how my week went last week. But how was your week last week in terms of drops and items that were coming out last week?
I've been starting to focus on just renting out bots, so I acquired some dashies, some vipers, some stuff like that.
Mhm.
And just been renting those out. E-stock kind of dipped in price. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I had that and I was able to sell at the right time. Same with Dashi. I'd like I had a lot of copies of Dashi, so now I'm only left with like two. I sold them kind of breaking even, but I made money off the rentals, so it was worth it.
Do you have any?
That's
Do you have any stellar copies?
not done.
Oh, those also like the rentals are pretty cheap, but they make a good amount too as well.
Stellar, yeah. I think the thing with Stellar is that it's getting taken off one of the renting platforms that I use because basically everyone that wants it can get it. It's super easy to get. Even though it's out of stock, it's basically always in stock. You know what I mean? They're backdooring
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
keys.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's like they just have such a huge user base now. I don't know. You're in Stellar, right? Do you know how many users they have?
I haven't checked, but it's probably a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot. And the thing is, like the rental platform that I use, like there are thousands of keys being listed. Like
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lot.
crazy.
There is a lot. Yeah. No, I hear you, man. But you said you had a couple ACO runners run for you for like I think some personal stuff, right? You ran for some Supreme merchandise and stuff like that. How was that?
Yeah, just personals. I got that Supreme jacket that came out and got a BOGO tee. Just stuff that I, wanted to splurge on for personal.
Yeah. How'd you like
The
the
BOGO
items
tee I'm
from
selling, but the
that
jacket I'm
drop?
gonna keep. Huh?
How'd you like the items from that drop?
I liked them a lot. Yeah, they're clean. I didn't care for the tee that much to be honest. That's why I'm gonna sell the tee.
Really?
But the jacket was really nice and I plan on wearing that.
What colors were both items?
I think they had like a tealish like gray, and then they just had plain gray and then like a pink.
Okay,
I
yeah,
got the pink one, but yeah, it's like a salmon pink tone. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I hear you, man. Yeah, that Supreme drop didn't. I did not enjoy that drop simply because I ran mech for it and it didn't do well that day. But Velox killed it on their restocks, and then I own a copy of Velox, but I didn't actually use it that day. I rented it out, so that was my loss there. But in terms of the Yeezys that came out, the what was it? Was it the 500, 700s? I think it was. The In Flames. That drop was ugh, was not good for Prism. Their Yeezy supply module didn't work very well that day, and so I didn't have much luck with it. But we'll see how they bounce back. They said they're gonna shift their focus to improving their Yeezy supply. Um, yeah, what I want to talk about was also sort of like dry weeks or like dead weeks where there's not a lot of releases going on. Like, do you want to share a little bit about how you manage those weeks, go through them? What do you do as a reseller in terms of staying profitable and making money, and just overall, having to deal with less uh, apparel and sneakers coming out that week? What would you usually do
Yeah.
then?
So finding something, kind of to be profitable outside of sneakers, and going back to that, Juiced offers that, like with the, whether it be drop shipping or, low key flip stuff like that. Like, my main income isn't from sneakers, right? Because there's going to be dry weeks. You have to find other things. So yeah, like, just sticking with something else during those dry weeks. And eventually sometimes they're going to grow into being something bigger than sneakers, right? Like, I don't remember the last time I bought it at drop. It's probably been
Been a
5
while for
months,
you.
4 months. So, yeah, I just, am finding other niches to tap into, as well as staying in the sneaker game, whether it be just buying sneakers for retail, and or not retail, for resale, and flipping them. Or something I've seen is a lot of people are buying PS5s and Xbox Ones for the, or not Xbox Ones, Xbox Series X's for the high. Paying resale on those and just flipping them for like 40, 50 profit. But imagine you're buying like, you know, 20 or 30, right? Um,
That's tough. That is tough going the console route right now.
yeah. So I think the console route is, it's definitely lasted longer than I thought it would, but it's something that's really profitable. So if you're trying to tap into something like that, that could be really, that could be something. I wouldn't say it's low key, but it's a niche a lot of people haven't gone into.
hmm So you mentioned you stay away from sneakers during those times. What type of items? Is it collectibles? Is it Pokemon cards? Is it we talked about how you would do pools and some sort of in-home stuff in the
Been a
past. What
while
what
since I've done pools. I did pools like last year, like around that time. Now I just found something else, kind of like just moving stuff in bulk, whether it be like sneakers, just like, buying for resale, like flipping for a little bit more.
Mhm.
Think about it. If you, people say, oh, $20 a shoe isn't much profit. Now, say it's $20 a shoe times, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 shoes, right? It adds up, right? So just
Yeah,
building
yeah.
that capital and being able to do that, is something that, I've been kind of looping in a sense. Just buy for resale, sell for a little bit more. Because, there's always going to be people paying higher, and there's always going to be people selling for low. So, just being in the middle of that.
So buying in bulk I'd assume for you, obviously, with getting good connections and just meeting the right people. If you buy a good amount, you'd also get a good discount on them, when you say.
Yeah, I definitely do, because it's I don't like to look at it this way, but I look at it from their perspective, and for them, it's a transactional relationship, right? I
hmm
get them things that, like, no one else can get them, and they give me low prices on bulk shoes. So it's, I don't like those relationships where things are transactional. It's just kind of how it is in some of these reseller relationships.
Yeah. But I'm sure, I mean, they definitely appreciate that because at the end of the day, like as a reseller, the one thing you don't want to have on your hands the whole time is actually product, which is ironic. You want to have product out of your hands as fast as possible, at least in terms of like flipping things. The thing is, when you hold product for a long time, you're holding on to that like investment, right? Your capital is no longer flexible. You're not able to reuse it and reinvest. So yeah, that's really interesting. So I mean, you mentioned bulk and how that helps in terms of small little profits. That's really interesting. But what route would you say, maybe someone who's starting off who doesn't have that much disposable capital, what route should they go?
They should definitely just, do brick flips or something like that. Just build up your capital. Don't wait around for drops because, those can go south. You might not be able to hit, or if you do hit a lot and the market crashes, obviously go for drops, but like don't just only go for them, if you're trying to build capital. Do brick flips, do low key flips. That's, really underrated. And it's a great way, especially bricks. Can't emphasize that enough. It's a great way to build capital.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really overlooked. I think the thing is people just I think the one advice I'd give to everyone is don't always look at sort of the bright lights and wait. Like we mentioned, we have that union drop. There's some people out there who pay for all these proxies, pay for, all of these operational expenses they need to upkeep their reselling endeavors. And then they're only waiting for one drop. And then let's say that one drop doesn't go well, what happens? You're down however much money you spent to initially get the item you're looking to get. So I think, diversifying yourself and looking towards other profitable items, whether it may be retail, collectibles, or even like renting out your bots that you have during the weeks that you're not using them. Those are ways to stay afloat, I'd say. No.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great thing to do. And yeah, like you said, great way to stay afloat and build capital. Because
Yeah.
money at the end of the day, money grows exponentially, right? So like, as long as you keep putting in, you're gonna get more out, and just play smart at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. So, we have a couple more guests lined up in these upcoming weeks. Do you want to maybe hint at the types of people we're going to be bringing onto our podcast and what type of material we have in store for everyone?
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to say like I don't think we should say the guest yet, or kind of like what companies they own or work for, but maybe a small hint is we had Michael from Notify last week, and he was the owner of a cook group. So maybe we got an owner of a bot next.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep it a secret. We're not going to reveal anything, but we got some people in our industry who may be owners of bots, who may be owners of other influential companies in our industry that play a pivotal role in terms of our success from a day-to-day basis. So I'm excited to speak to them and bring some more content for you guys. Well, you said you just got your second vaccine. Congratulations, man. It must be a great weight off your shoulders now.
Yeah, it's looking forward to seeing things go back to normal here in the States, as they kind of already are, but at least for me, now I can do a lot of things that I couldn't before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, COVID update in Canada, we opened up 3 days ago, like patios, not everything, but patio restaurants are open. So we're able to go out a bit more and get to see other people. So that's
It's
great.
just it's kind of funny hearing that. It's like, in Texas at least, patios back in like almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, if probably a year ago. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy to hear. It's like, you've been in the pandemic or in quarantine 2 times longer than, I have. So
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. But we're trending in the right direction. So I hope things get better. I've been keeping busy with, work, school, and now watching the NBA playoffs. What are your thoughts on where the NBA is heading right now?
looks good. I'm cheering for the Suns. So
You're cheering
see
for the
what
Suns?
yeah, the Suns.
Yeah, I saw your post of CP3 like yesterday, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
man, I want to see that guy
a
win a
big
ring so
CP3 fan,
badly.
so
I want to see him win a ring so badly.
yeah, that'd be really fun to watch.
Do you think do you think they get past, well, I'm not sure who gets out on the other side, but I'm assuming Utah will get past. Who do you
Actually, I
think?
got the Clips.
You got the Clippers, really?
Yeah, they're gonna come back.
Who do you think Kawhi is just gonna, man? Kawhi broke our Torontonian hearts, man. We don't want to see him win another chip.
I don't think he'll win. I think the Suns will beat him in 5. That's my prediction. It's gonna be Suns, Nets, and Suns in 6. We can come back to this episode when I'm right.
Really? Dang, man. That is bold. I think Utah gets past. And I think, I don't know. That's a toss up for me, the Utah Phoenix. But if the Clippers get past Utah, I think they have a better chance at beating Phoenix than Utah does. I think they're just built better to like compete against the Suns.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But we'll see. I'm excited to see, man, Milwaukee on the other side. If they can get it done. I mean, I feel bad for Kyrie and his injury, but I do not
I
want to
don't think
see
they'll get it
Brooklyn
done.
make it out the East. Sorry,
Yeah, I don't think Milwaukee will get it done.
you don't think so?
Nah, I doubt it.
Kyrie's from what I saw from update was Kyrie's out for Game 5.
Yeah, but they still got Kevin Durant. Cannot count that man out.
You think Kevin Durant, KD single handedly is going to take down the Bucks?
Don't
Single
sleep on
handedly.
don't sleep on Blake Griffin. They got a good supporting cast. I think they definitely can.
They do have a good team. They do have a good team. Don't get me wrong. Bruce Brown's like a good glue guy. Joe Harris is a good player as well. They have a decent team without
Oh,
their star studded players. But
yeah, I agree, especially with don't they have Shamit too, and then they have Claxton. They have a good team.
yeah, and
Jeff
then
Green,
well now they have who is
good
it? Mike
coach.
James that's going to be running the point for them now because Kyrie's out for the
Oh,
time
okay.
being. He's
Yeah.
a good. He was like an overseas player. He bounced around all over the place, but I think he's gonna do decent. He's a good role player. But man, I don't know. I don't know if that's good enough to beat a fully loaded Milwaukee team. I think they're really good, man. I think Milwaukee's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll catch up back on that. Next time we probably I guess next time we speak will be sort of in the next round. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, for real. I think that'll be I think next episode um will be with the guest as well. And I don't think we'll talk about it then, but on the next normal episode, post the guest episode, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
with you and
NBA
I,
playoffs.
we'll definitely do a recap on that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as always, our social medias are linked down below. Juiced link is also down below. Um, anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you guys who continue to support us and continue to listen to our episodes. If you guys have any more suggestions or feedback or you need to reach out to us, don't hesitate to. And I'll leave it there. Until next time, guys. Peace.